Hi, welcome back to another great episode of Fertility and Spirituality Revealed. I am here with Lemia Joshua and Joshua Bowser of Rama Holistic Care. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us. So Lemia and Josh are holistic health practitioners. They are medicinal aromatherapists, and they are here to talk to us about the spiritual blocks to getting pregnant. So welcome, Lemia and Josh. I'm so happy, my dear. I love these people. I've known them for years, and they're just wonderful people. So happy to have you here and have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
I love your accent, all your R rolling and everything. Makes me
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Where are you from, Lemia? What is your background?
It's a Middle Eastern background. I have, my father was born actually in Baghdad and met my mom in Fresno when he went to Fresno State. And my mom's born and raised in Fresno, California, and is Irish, kind of a German.
Yeah, Irish Scots.
Scotch Irish. And yeah, they fell in love, got married, and this is what you get.
Love it, love it, love it. And Josh, you're from?
I'm Southern California native, so on one side of my family, I'm a fourth-generation Californian, and a lot of ties back into the old, 13 colonies as well on other parts. So I'm an American mutt. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Okay. So I just am so excited to talk to you about everything that you guys do in terms of preparing ourselves in a sacred way for the journey of life. And then I'd love for you to talk to us today about preparing ourselves for motherhood. So what do you feel is important for the women on this journey, for the women who are trying to conceive? What do you guys feel is something that they should bring into their regimen, to their life? What do they need to be aware of? I'm going to just pick your brain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd love to just hear what you have to say about this journey.
Yeah, moving into the spiritual world and then as a birth doula, which has been able to really see physically what happens and different people and what works and what doesn't work. I think what we forget is that we are spiritual beings. We get so into the world that we live in and our routine and all these things that we do, but we are spiritual beings, and that word being is a crucial part of that. Like, how are we being in our inner world? And everything starts in our mind. It's how we are inspired with our breath. That's how divine works through us. That idea of prana is like there's a God force in the air that we're breathing. So being able to focus and look back inside. So not so much of, what are the conditions on the outside and what are the situations and do we have enough money? Can we afford it? Is this the right timing? Are we the right age? Do we have the house and all? It's not about any of that. As we can see with, girls getting pregnant at a very young age, that's when you really believe anything's possible, right? You're not tainted by the world and the belief system of like something's wrong with you. There's less babies in the world. There's a fertility issue. I think that this has kind of been fed to us for, I don't know, maybe the last 20 years. I've really heard it powerfully, like on the earth, that the population's getting smaller. So we don't realize all these seeds that we've allowed to nest in our brains. And over time, those seeds become huge trees that we have to like chainsaw down inside of ourselves. And that's a huge part of it. One of my first experiences ever, I was teaching a teacher training in Mexico, and this lady came over, I think from Brazil, she was from. Anyway, her and her husband for 3 or 4 years were trying to get pregnant. All her doctors were saying, something's wrong with you, you're the problem. It's physiologically an issue. Maybe you're too old, maybe, your egg, there's something wrong with your eggs, yeah. You're damaged goods, It's like something's wrong with you. And I remember as we were going through the yoga training, things come out, there's a lot of healing. And there was one day she was just crying. And I'm like, all right, what's really going on? Because it's not the yoga, you're going to pass the test. Everything's going to be fine. And it came out, just I've been trying to get pregnant for years. I've been trying fertility. It's not working, and something's wrong with me. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, let's stop this. And just asking her what she's been doing. It was very heady and very like technological and
On the time.
yeah, and just yeah, everything was about the clock. And like, I'm like, when was the last time you guys had like a romantic dinner, had a glass of wine, and then started kissing, and then it led to something else, and then you just made love? And she's like, when we got married, like that was when we were doing that, and we really haven't, because we were determined we're going to have a kid. And I'm like, all right, let's throw all that, when you get home, your body is in great shape right now, like let's just have a relationship with your husband. And it literally was the first time they did that they got pregnant. She now has 2 kids, and she counsels people on fertility and pregnancy and all that where she lives.
I just got the goosebumps, Lemia. It's so beautiful.
It's so simple, I think. And I think, even though we're like, yeah, I'm simple, I'm organic, whatever, like, I think we really have to go inside and push the inside world out, and like take a blank piece of paper, and everything that's in your mind, put it on that paper. What are all your fears? What have you been told? What are your beliefs around pregnancy? How do you think it even works? Because if it's love that brought us to this world, then love is the answer. It's not going to be the clinic and the doctors and getting the right person, because that's another friend of ours is like on her 5th fertility doctor, and she just refuses to look at the love side. They haven't made love. Everything is mechanical. It's all written on paper. Like she's got all these meds she's taking. It's just, I think we get so pulled away from who we really are, which is spiritual beings. Like the part that we're physical is just 1%. So like, why are we addressing that as like the end all to our way, and how do you feel inside? And I think, with this particular woman that I'm talking about that has like the 5 doctors, when I talk to her, like, you have such a crazy life, like, when you're just going to stop all this and have a kid, what's going to happen when you have a kid? And she's like, oh no, I'm not raising that kid. We're going to have a nanny come in. Like, I want nothing to do with any of that. And I'm like, are you listening to yourself? You don't want a child. And the spirits that are deciding if you're the mommy for them to nest in are like, well, she doesn't want a kid, so I'm going to go to someone else. Not that that's, but literally, like, we're these babies, these energies that potentially want to come into our lives, and it's part of a long-term agreement also, I believe, that we've decided before we got here. They're in our inner world. They know when we're ready and we're not ready because of what's going on inside of us. And nobody else knows that. Nobody else knows how we feel. And if we really, really want to have a child, or really, really don't want to have a child. So I think the first step is stop fooling ourselves and like really go into the spirit of being, and sit with yourself and be still with yourself and ask yourself, how do I really feel about this? Is this something I really want? Is this something that society has said, okay, we've been married, we have a kid, or we have a house, we have enough money in the savings account, or whatever the properties are that for them in their mind had to happen first. Now it's time to have a kid. But inside, they still have this goal to achieve, or this thing they want to do, and they don't feel at peace with that decision. So I think a huge, huge part is pulling the inner world out and just being, being a living being that was brought here by love and will be fruitful through the power of love. I can say this even, going away from fertility, just in bringing in money, bringing in your career choices, bringing in the people that are going to help you. Like, if you have blocks inside of you, those things are blocked. It's like doors being shut around you. So whatever's working in our lives, whatever's not working in our lives, we have to go back inside, because the inside is the key. And then all the doors will be unlocked, and we can do and be and have anything we want. And we can get in our head and go, no, because this job will never pay this much, or this will never, and we can rationalize everything. But what's the truth? The truth is that we are feeling, thoughts and feeling beings, and that's what's driving our whole reality in front of us.
Yeah. I feel like another part another part to this whole fertility, infertility thing is the pressure, the social pressures or the family pressures or personal pressure that one puts on themselves, either men or women, like, oh, I have to, as a man, I have to spread my seed, or like, there's so much, unconscious programming that we open ourselves up to that we get kind of, I think, overwhelmed. And so like we go along with those pressures and, oh, by this age I have to have this, by this age I have to have this, by this. There's all these like markers that we have to hit that someone else or society has placed on the road for us. But we all are walking our own journey. And it really is that place of mental alertness, wellness, consciousness, where you are not allowing other people's feelings, thoughts, ideas of what being human is. Because if you look at it classically through a scientific, view, we're here to procreate and make sure that the humans live on this planet forever. I don't think we're in any problem or challenge of making sure there's enough humans on the planet. I think that's kind of like, I think we're all okay with that there's enough humans. So I think on some level on that, there is a chemistry, 100th monkey theory thing going on where some peoples don't want to have children. Some peoples are choosing to love their same sexual like that's okay. That's part of us as humans also preserving the planet so we don't overrun it. Right. So what I'm getting at is that you may want to have a child for whatever reason. You may think that this is your time to do it. This lifetime, if you believe in other lifetimes, this lifetime may not be it for you. And we all have to be okay with that while we are lovingly trying to do this. If it doesn't happen, then we have to be okay with it. And you can go through the IVF treatments, you can go through all these things, you can go to this witch doctor here, you can go to this person on top of a mountain, they can all tell you this and take this herb. If it's not meant to be in your reality, it's maybe not meant to be. And we have to like be okay with that. And usually when we let go of the attachment, that's when it happens. So there's this little like dual psychology, reverse psychology thing going on that we all play this game with ourselves. So how do we unprogram from what our parents have told us, what our society, what our friends, we're not keeping up with the Joneses, they have 2 cars and 2 kids, we need to have 2 cars and 2 kids. Like, no, we have to just love and love the earth because that's our sustenance. We have to love our partner because that's our leaning on person through life, or maybe you have more than one, whatever. But at different times we have to be okay with being by ourselves. And I think that's kind of the biggest challenge that humans face, is that we have to have a kid so that we'll never be alone. Mm-hmm. We have to learn, even the kids leave the house and they go off and empty nest, the parent then has to learn how to be alone again, right? So no matter what, humans, we have to be okay loving ourselves, being at one. And I don't like to say like alone, like you're alone, like no one's ever going to talk to you, but you have that connection with yourself where being by yourself feels like you're full of love and full of joy and full of completeness from the universe, not from a societal perspective or a job thing or whatever. Like, it's just, we have to let go of those daily stresses that we allow ourselves to take on.
In how many cases, I know 3 women specifically in my life, but how many cases have we heard where they did the fertility and then the second kid just came,
right?
Like on its own, because they weren't even thinking about it. They were just having sex, right? And loving each other, and there was no pressure. They already had the kid. And then all of a sudden they didn't maybe want another child, but hey, here you go. And like, I know some that had several kids after that first one.
And I just want to share this I want to share this real quick. A friend of mine, he had 5 children, 5 girls. He was trying for again, that mental thing. I got to have a boy, right? I got to program to have a boy. Got to have a boy. 5 kids. All right, throw in the towel. Gonna get a vasectomy. Guess what? They have 6 kids now. So, and it's a boy. So he let go, right? He let go, and that soul came in. And he thought that I'm doing what medically is right, and I'm gonna, look, when it's time, it's time.
Yeah. The baby came after the vasectomy?
After the vasectomy.
Wow. He was closed up.
2 years after
the guy swum through.
Yeah.
He was a warrior spirit.
Nothing is 100. Nothing on this planet is 100%. Yeah. Maybe the sun will rise and sunset. You may or may not see it, but it's going to happen, right? But like this, we have to be okay with not knowing. We have to be, and that's that alone feeling. I don't know. I feel alone. Embrace that feeling. Embrace yourself if you ever feel that way. You are not alone because your soul and your angels and all this is here with you. All of us consciously are together. So we have to feel connected even if we think we're alone.
I also get told a lot, well, who's going to take care of you when you get older? You have no kids. You're going to be like in some old folks home by yourself.
That's the fear.
I have an aunt who her children have passed away.
Right, before her.
And so, just because you have a kid and then I have a friend that their kid like will not speak to them anymore. Like after 18, like they're just like, no, I don't like the way I was raised. I don't want to have anything to do with you ever again. So how is having a kid a guaranteed way that you're going to have someone there at hospice, like changing your diapers? It's not guaranteed.
And if that's the reason why you want to have a kid, then that's why it's not
you
happening.
need to check what's going on in here.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, Lemia, talk about, let's go to this, which you were, the importance of that on this journey.
Yes, thoughts and feelings, everything trickles down like gravity from the top of our being out through our feet. Energetically, it's the same thing. Our thoughts and our feelings, our body and our lives will flow from that. But even on a scale of connecting us as we are nature, the Schumann resonance between the basic crust of the earth to the ionosphere, so like the tallest tree, that part of the earth has a healing frequency that's equal to when our brain is in complete harmony and balanced. That's the frequency of that part of the earth. So communing with the earth gets us to a place where we can have our frequency of our brain in a balanced way, where we can start to think in a more harmonious way. This is our big thing with aromatherapy. Not many people live near a big forest full of big trees and, all these different types of flowers and roots and seeds. And so in order to get those to commune with them, if we don't live by them, if we're in a city and, we live that kind of a life, is to work with essential oils. And we have seen miracles happen with essential oils. We've actually seen women who took our training course where they're getting anointed by 50 different essences and some hydroliths.
After they had gone through
and
menopause.
They went through menopause completely.
Before our training.
Before our training, came to the training, and then they started their moon cycle again.
No way.
Yeah. So the earth is meant to bring us into that balance, and you don't know why things were blocked or stopped or shut down. It's like having, a stick in a creek, and all of a sudden you move that stick and everything's flowing again. It's like, where are we blocked in our mind and our emotions? And then when that flow happens, when we commune with nature, we realize we're infinite. We have that feeling of there's love, there's this life that's not in another human, but there's a life on this earth that's maintaining us, sustaining us, helping us to grow, helping us to learn, helping us to ground and connect, to remember that we are spiritual beings. The plants are really there to help support and ground us in that way. And when we use them, they can bring us back into a flow. And we're mostly made of water, so we are that flow, and we are impressionable. So what are you watching every day? What are you listening to? And especially those fertility videos and, listening to the news and Dr. Oz, and there's so much fear. And I think that's the way that it gets our attention. I think it's that shock value thing that's happening in this generation, is like anything to get your attention for the few seconds that you'll stay, we'll do it. So plow you into a fear, and you're like, oh no, you're grasping at every word. When it's something that's good for you, it's boring. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard this before, be positive and da-da-da-da-da. Why aren't we so captivated into that when that's actually the thing that works? The other thing is blocking us. So it's that old adage of, what are you going to feed? The wolf that's trying to kill you and and is like destructive, or the wolf that's supporting you and helping you have peace. The one you feed is running your life. So we have that duality inside of us. Our mind intrinsically is dualistic, and it's like, even in the tarot and in the tree of life, they teach the very top is about the mind, and we have these two chariots, right? We have a light side, we have a dark side, but who's pulling the reins on that? Are you giving your reins over to someone else's opinion and their belief system, or are you creating your own, and you're really bringing in that inner voice, that inner connection, that connection directly to spirit? Whether it's a partner or someone in your life that you feel has more power over you, nobody has more power over you. You have the ultimate power of everything that's going on in your life. So we have to take those reins back, and we have to have that direct connection. We have a forgiveness prayer that we say every day, to help remove blocks. Like, how do we keep ourselves in a flow? There is no human on this earth that hasn't gone through a trauma. There's no human on this earth that hasn't had tons of challenges. And all of us, it looks differently, but we have the same volume of pain and the same volume of joy. However, if you choose to live in your destructive side your whole life, you're going to have that hard lesson over and over and over again. So the hardest thing to do is to just be, like he's saying, to be with yourself, to be in nature, to be connecting, to connect with your angels. We all have a guardian angel that we can talk to every day that's with us all the time. There's archangels that all we have to do is invoke them and they'll be with us. And actually, Archangel Gabriel is an amazing helper for fertility. Have a relationship with Archangel Gabriel. We will chant the name, like a way that you can do it is you can break the name up, Gabrielle, Gabrielle. So you take a deep breath and you say, you take another breath, Gabri, take another breath, Gabrielle, and you do that 7 to 11 times every day. And then just sit and ask for guidance, ask for support, ask for the answers. Why am I having a fertility issue? Instead of the doctor that has their guides and their beings that are helping them to bring you in as a client, bring in your support, your guidance. And I think that's been a big thing for us this last year is like, stop going to the outer world for how you're driving your chariot, your Merkaba, your energy body. Like, listen to yourself, pull in all the guidance that's right there that you just have to ask for help and use that guidance. It's free. You don't have to pay for it, like it's the easy way when you choose it. It's a difficult way when you're rebelling against it all the time and you're fighting against that support. The trees, there's so much power in trees. You don't have to buy aromatherapy. You can go find a tree that you feel called to that's like, this one I look at every day. I don't know why I look at it every day. I look at this tree every day. There is a reason why you're looking at that tree every day. The tree's like, come hang out with me. I want to help support you. Ask for permission. Can I sit with you? Can I receive healing? Can I receive insight? Bring a little journal book with you and just put your spine against the tree and just sit and breathe with the tree. The tree can help with fertility issues. It can help with your cellular, imbalances. If you've got COVID, the tree can help give you energy and help you, get past a dis-ease. But also trees speak, but they speak to our hearts. So if you sit there long enough, quiet enough, this is Buddha's whole thing, how he got enlightened by sitting next to a tree. It wasn't going to his guru master and saying, what do I need to do? Or his doctor saying, why are people suffering on the earth? He just sat with the tree and journaled, and he got the realizations of what this is all about. It's so simple, and we have to stop making it so complicated. Use your free resources, your angels, your trees, your, putting your feet in the earth, the sunshine before 10 a.m. Allow that light to pour into you. Take yourself, close your eyes, and imagine yourself spiraling up to the sun, where there's all these luminous beings that live in the sun, and feel them kissing your cheeks, and feel them kissing your belly, and healing your reproductive system, and bringing you joy. And then when you feel complete, spiral back to your body and say thank you. That's free, and it has so much healing. We have to tap into who we really are. We are spiritual beings, and go back to being simple, because simplicity is divinity. And when we make it complicated, we're moving away from our divine self. It's really that simple.
So good, Lemia. It's so good. Both of you are always so on point. So on point. You guys have said so many good things. So I would love if you were okay with it. When we close, I was thinking we could do an invocation with Gabrielle, just to, we'll close with that. Just how you explained it. I think that's beautiful if we just do that. There's so many good things in what you guys just said. Like Josh, what you were talking about with the aloneness and being okay with not knowing. I can't tell you how big of an issue that is for the women that are going through this, because that is the not knowing is what, like, it kills us, right? So if you guys also have like maybe like a little mini meditation or something, a tip or something that you think could help with the women in the face of this uncertainty to help to either ground them or make them feel loved or nourished. Maybe it's that spiraling up and spiraling back down. That was so beautiful, you know, feeling nourished and kissed by the angels. I love that. And also, Josh, you brought up the point about how we are all in this together, even when we feel alone. And so I would just love to give everyone, in addition to the Gabriel, maybe a short little meditation. It could be just like what you just said, Lemia. Maybe we just like walk us through it again, or something else that maybe you want to share, to make us feel nourished and connected and loved, even when we don't feel that way. You know, bring more certainty to ourselves. So if we could do that, I think that would be great.
Cool. I just
There's
wanted
so
to
many good things you guys talked about.
I wanted to mention real quick. Lemia said something about duality, and there's
Yes.
a great philosopher. His name's Alan Watts. He's passed away. Maybe you've heard of him. But he says, remember that duality is secretly unity. Because as far as you go back, you're going to come back to it. As far as you go back, you're going to, you know. So there's, even if we think we're in a dualistic world, we have that ability to come back to our unity in a split thought, right? In a split second, we can be back to that. And the other point is about age. And there are so many stories right now of women in their 50s and 60s that have gotten pregnant, had healthy pregnancies, and they're fine. And there are stories in biblical references where 90, over that, you know,
900 years
so
old.
there
They
are
had babies.
well there are so
Back
many
then.
well, you know, there are so many stories of where age doesn't, it's, age is a human concept. There's another quote, I think it was also from Alan Watts. He says, "Do you know that all the clock companies were the ones who invented time so they could sell more watches?"
More clocks.
Right? More clocks, more watches. Like, who invented the concept of time? And yes, there are cyclical, you know, we can watch the progression of the sun. There's the equinox, there's the solstices. But what does that really mean? What does that mean to a human being? Does it mean that, okay, I'm a year older now, so now I have to act this way. Oh, it's a year older, now I have to act this way. It's so relative, this thing, age. People, you know, not to be whatever, but we're in our 40s, mid 40s, where we're like, people think, oh my God, we still get carded for buying kombucha.
I love it.
It's the funniest thing. We both look at each other and we're just like, all
I'm
right,
like, yes,
you know,
we still got
These
it.
couple of teenagers, what are they doing over there?
it's a mentality.
I'm almost 50, but I'm still getting carded.
It's a mentality. So that's why I really believe the peoples who have successful pregnancies later in life, it's up here. This is the whole, it's all up here. What are you allowing into this beautiful crown of glory? And then what is that feeding the body? You know, because it all comes, like Lemmy said, it all comes from the top. Whether it's a person or whether it's you, it all comes from our thoughts. So how are we breaking free from our social programming, this time, even in this glimpse of social programming? It was different 500 years ago, it was different 2,000 years ago, it was different 5,000 years ago for humans, right? We didn't have so many social boxes that we had to fit in and make, oh, by this age you have to do that. We have to let go of those programs. Some of them we keep, some parts of them we keep because they're a survival technique, right? That's where we use our logic mind. But the heart mind is saying, I'm 12, I'm 15, I'm 22, whatever it is that the heart mind is telling us. So we have to listen to that heart, again, by connected to nature, whether it's a tree, aromatherapy, the ocean, whatever it may be. When we feel in touch with nature, because nature is timeless. I mean, we still don't know the oldest tree still don't know the oldest fish. Still don't know so many things. So nature is limitless, and we are part of nature. So if nature is limitless, then we're limitless. So there we go.
Yeah, I think we mentioned when we talked about toxicity and fertility as well, that we do have these influences that are not seen. You know, like the birth date that we chose, we can't see that how it works on us, but all those numbers mean something. And we know that with looking at it astrologically and numerologically, right? How many previous lifetimes have we had? How many babies did we have in those previous lifetimes? Sometimes we connect with that mothering because we were a mother for, thousands of lifetimes. So we connect with mothering, but we've chosen already, our contract with spirit is that we're not going to do it in this lifetime because we wanted one off. Like there's things that we are not aware of. Our whole mother's lineage, our whole father's lineage, and all the issues and things that went on in there, why we're thinking the way we are today. It's part of what's been passed down to us. What happened when we were in the womb with our mothers, maybe there was something traumatic where inside the womb we said, I'm not doing this, I'm not going to go through this, I have a fear. So sometimes that going into past life regression or going into hypnotism, sometimes those things come out, sometimes they don't. Meditation, sitting by the tree, going into the angelic realm, asking your guides, you can have these things be revealed to you. The environment you were grown up on. Maybe it was so abusive, or it was so poor, or it was so rich that no one was around. What was that environment where you think that that's what's going to happen to children when they come to this earth, and you have this block inside of you that you don't want your child to have to go through that. So you're preventing it from happening by not having a child. So what happened to us, how we were spoken to from 0 to 11, those are like imprinted programs inside of us. And then as an adult, what we're listening to every day and what we're bringing in. So there's a lot of unseen things. That's why I say get that blank piece of paper or sit quietly and listen. We need to get out the old programming. We need to purge all that old belief system, all the old feelings, and really own up to who are we today? What do we believe now? What can we demystify with all that other stuff? What conversations do we have to have with parents, or maybe parents aren't alive anymore, so we have to go to other people in the family. What do we need to do to find our peace and be able to move forward and not feel alone and not feel bad about what we're doing?
Yeah. I mean, we all have that ability to close our eyes and connect to that source of all life, and sometimes people do it with their eyes open. But it's just going inward. It's this whole school of Earth, this whole lifetime is literally a school so that we can stay neutral, stay balanced in our heart. And we all have our different triggers. Sometimes it's someone cutting you off on the road. Sometimes it's not getting pregnant. Whatever it may be, we have to really again go to that center heart and say, this is what's meant to be right now. And if it changes, then that's what's meant to be right now, right? So.
It's faith.
Yeah, faith. that we can plan, and then that energy, whatever it is you want to call it, plans or makes that final opening for us, if you will.
We really stand with God is not a person that's sitting up and saying you're going to get pregnant, you're not getting pregnant. God, the energy of God moves through love, so we have to make love. It moves through truth. So we have to face our truth and what's going inside of us and demystify the lies and that we believed. It has to do with wisdom. So using that deep wisdom of, hey, I can't control my life. I'm not in control, and I have to be okay with that. I think the kicking and screaming is that teenager spirit, inside of us, like really looking at the evolution of human. Where are we in that evolution? Obviously, we're not that wise being that is just lives on faith and everything is, we're communing with the breath and everything is moving and everything's shifting based on our breath. Like we've gotten so physical. So we need to simplify. We need to come back. And that's a big part of it. And we can definitely lead a little kind of connection and go into invoking Gabrielle as
Oh, that would be so beautiful. So beautiful. That sounds awesome, Lemia. And I have one quick question before we get into the meditation. Since you guys are the essential oil gurus, what essential oils would you recommend for women or men on the journey trying to get pregnant?
Yeah, so clary sage is a really big one, but there's a lot of fears around clary sage. And first of all, I do want to say that if you've never used essential oils and all of a sudden you want to use them for fertility or pregnancy, you want to ease your way in because it is very powerful. Think of one drop that you're dropping on you is like an ounce of the plant.
Right.
So the dried plant. So think of in terms of, less is more, and especially if you've never used them, they can have a profound effect emotionally, physiologically, really help you shift. So in that sense, that's why we use them. But if you've never used them before, just kind of ease into it and know that they're very powerful. Clary sage is amazing, and I've had people use it before they got pregnant, during their whole pregnancy, and after pregnancy with no problem. If you have a fear around it, or you've read some things and it bothers you, then we'll go to a geranium. It's an amazing hormone balancer, and also any cypress is an amazing hormone balancer. In cypress, you get that grounding kind of tree. The geranium and the clary sage is the flower. The flower represents that fertility and the womb and coming to flower, like coming to bloom.
For men, we recommend any of the pine trees, just because it looks like penis as well.
And the name is Pinus.
Yeah, Pinus.
So
it's kind of a good connection. And there's a lot of vitamins and minerals that helps the situation. And also the pines work. We've dealt with a lot of men who've had, impotency in their 20s and stuff, and it's just from stress and shame and that kind of stuff. So it's also allowing those shadow aspects of ourselves to kind of clear away. And also an essence that we recommend for everybody in the world is black cumin seed oil. Yeah, nut oil. Yeah, it's a small seed oil. But black cumin seed is amazing. It's a balanced protein, carbohydrate, fat. Like the polyunsaturated fats are amazing. Omegas 3s and 9s, I believe, and just really, really powerful. And also specifically for impotence as well. So, putting 5 or 10 drops on the lingam and lovingly, not like you're trying to like do something, but lovingly touching yourself in like a honoring way where you're not trying to ejaculate, right? Just to be real with it. It's a loving thyself kind of thing. And so the black cumin seed works again on the shadow. Anything with the preference black in there helps work on our shadow side. And then the black cumin seed itself is so regenerative for the immune system, for every system of the body. The Prophet Muhammad once said, the black cumin seed will cure everything but death. So it's a very useful tool for humans.
And let's be clear on anointing. That's the only one that you would put on the lingam and the testicles. You could put directly on. Can go in really
rectal,
any hole in your body. Can go in safely.
Yeah, if a guy has a prostate issue, and that's also connected to sometimes impotence, so you can work with the rectal treatment, and we can talk about that if you want to order that. We can talk offline about that.
But the others I would just get into on your skin is the best way to absorb. So your major veins and arteries are the wrist, the neck, and the inner thighs. And all of those can be safely put just anywhere on your skin to get into the system. However, for fertility issues, at least for me,
she's rubbing her belly.
Rubbing my belly, I call it the smile line, but from like the inside of your hip to the other inside of your hip and above your pubic bone, that whole strip below your belly button. Don't put it in your belly button.
Well,
not the cumin, you can. Yeah. That's the one that can go in any hole. But the others just keep on the skin, and always do a test patch. Sometimes geranium can be activating for people. It's also an amazing thing to use on acne, like spot check acne, but helping with that hormonal kind of balance issue. But do a little test patch on your arm. Make sure it's not too hot. If it is hot, you can use the cypress first, and then the geranium on top of it. The cypress is neutral and not hot. So is the pine.
And if there's ever a reaction to the skin, please remain calm. Within about 10, 15 minutes, it'll go away. I accidentally put a cinnamon friend on my hand the other night, thinking it was black cumin. It was dark, and I put cinnamon on the back of my hand.
Without smelling?
Without smelling. I just did it quick, and it came out really fast, and I was like, oh. It was warm and lively for about 10 minutes, and then it started cooling down. In the back, like from here up, my hands were all red. So it is activating it. Circulation is a huge thing for a lot of these essences. Circulation is the main thing. Oxygenating the blood is really a huge component of these essences. So if you do have a little small reaction, or you accidentally get into a place where the sun don't shine and it shouldn't, put a nut oil. That can be the cumin seed. That can be an olive oil in your house, a coconut oil in your house.
Nut oil.
Anything in your kitchen that's a nut-based oil, sesame seed oil, whatever you have in there will help put the fire out. And that's why folks in Ayurveda, they use the oils internally, because our acids in our digestive break down the essential oil But if you put it in a lipid carrier, in a fatty carrier, then it will go deeper into the system. So
that's for ingesting,
that's for the internal, right?
Not for external.
But just showing you that there are good applications for nut oils, not only to put out the fire, right? But yeah.
Water makes it more intense.
Yeah, don't wash it off, because that you'll get an even more stronger reaction.
Yeah, use an oil. Use an oil if you get an essential oil where it shouldn't be, or if it starts to burn, use a base oil, a nut oil, like they're saying, the olive oil, the coconut oil, the sesame
Whatever
seed
you got.
oil.
The others are called essences, but we call them essential oils, but that's kind of a false name.
That's true. That's true.
That's
Yes.
all in the
There's
category.
essences, steamed, distilled, you know, and they're
Oils.
not nut or seed based,
Not
and
fat
then
based.
there's or fatty based, and then there's oils. So just
Which are
know that there is a
lipid
difference
based, right?
there.
So yeah. Anyway, just little nerdy stuff about.
And you
about
can learn
essential.
more in the training, which the next one is in April. It's right now we have it as a 2-weekend thing because it's deep. You know, if you really want to learn how to work with these in your life, that's our goal. Not to just, you know, give you an experience which you can get in like a workshop. This is like, you really want to do this. You want to help people, yourself first, and other people with plants. And so we'll empower you to do that. But we have workshops. We do little 3 essences or 1 essence workshops all the time. So check us out at Sacred Sense Aromatherapy.
This training that you're mentioning is amazing, because this is the one that you said that has opened up the floodgates for other women, right? Because being just completely immersed in these oils for, you know, total weekends at a time has created this harmony within them that all of a sudden their body is working in ways that it's never worked for years, or hasn't worked in years. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and it helps people work through mental blocks too, emotional blocks. You know, we had a person come in that was kind of suicidal, and she's like, I feel reborn, because the earth held her and like allowed her to process and allowed her to have these different experiences from every plant. So if you're bringing 50 different teachers into your body, into your cells, into your being, you're going to have some kind of shift. And we can't, you know, we're not here like, you're going to get pregnant if you take our course. We are not saying that, because you are a dynamic whole being, and all aspects of you have to be wanting this and have to be, you know, ready for this. So, yeah, it's happened to several women that they've got their moon cycle again after going through menopause. And also, you know, there's been older women that didn't get their moon cycle, you know, in their older age, and they took the training. So it depends on, you know, do you have a block there that needs to get, you know, needs movement, needs flow.
And also, just to touch on this real quick, sometimes the block is from a nutritional or an environmental external force, right? So there's all, like we talked about the last series with this course here. It can be an external factor, so checking your external factors as well. And are you taking in fish that might be full of heavy metals or things like that? Or are you doing heavy metal detox flushes? So
what's your water source?
What's your water source? How clean is it? You know,
in your shower and in your drinking. You know, it's like we're saying, your body is absorbing everything, and everything you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream. So, you know, some people are like, I have all these filters for my drinking water, but my shower, you go in there, it smells like chlorine when you turn the water on. You know, we have to be aware of what we're bringing into our bodies as well.
You had mentioned, what's a good heavy metal detoxifier?
Oh yeah, patchouli is an amazing heavy metal detoxifier.
And eating lots of cilantro is really good.
Coriander is the plant, the essence that would go along with cilantro, but for food. Yeah,
and if you do, we practice plant-based, but if you do, you know, partake in animal, you know, foods, goat cheese is actually a pretty good heavy metal detoxifier as well.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
In moderation.
We're not saying go out there.
We're not saying go and eat goat cheese, but
only
if you
eat
have,
goat cheese, you know, for the next month. No, do not do that.
It was, to be honest, that was the last cheese that we gave up before we went full plant-based. So it's a good one, and I'm just saying that. There's no judgment. You do what you got to do.
What do you guys think about saw palmetto for men?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's good. I think it's also called horny goat weed is good. Maca, actually, the root, the South American Incan root, is amazing for both men and women, not just for energy, but also for what's going on down in the reproductive organs. So, and you can look online, there's beautiful powders. I do know that a little bit that I know about the maca. If you get maca, make sure that it's been roasted, or sometimes they call it gelatinized, which just means it's been roasted, because for whatever reason, that particular herb needs a little bit of a heat exchange for it to open up its goodies to us. So just put it out there: the saw palmetto, the horny goatweed, maca, cumin, black cumin. All those are really good, and the cumin you can take internally as well, like 5, 10, 15,
Or
20.
put it in hot water and drink it as a tea.
Hot water.
Awesome.
And then,
Can you tell everyone what the saw palmetto is for?
I believe it's for the testicles, and I don't know too much about that one, to be honest. I do
I
know
think
that
so. Yeah, it's good for the prostate, and I believe it's good for impotence as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, because I've seen it in different formulations with the horny goatweed, the maca, saw palmetto, all these things kind of put into one pill. You can get these pills at the local health food store. Yeah, those are good, and also this thing called exercise,
Yeah.
circulation, heart. It's all about the heart pumping to get blood down there. And if the heart's not pumping right, then down there won't get enough blood. So you have to have the heart pumping in a proper way. And another huge thing that men often forget is that there's this thing called buildup and foreplay and kissing and slowing down and being present with your partner. And it's huge.
Yeah.
It literally, like, when you slow down, and it's not like get to the end goal, like an end result right away. Like it's a slow process, right? Love making should be slow, and if you're trying to have children, I hope you're love making, right?
Yeah.
and then also chi warmers. So like we have things like mei chang or turmeric, or ply or mace, even nutmeg. Nutmeg and mace are connected. Mace is the outside covering of nutmeg. These are all like the chi warmers to get the circulation as part of exercising and that kind of thing. But that really helps too to get things moving, and especially in the impotence category, we find that the chi warmers get the flow going, and then not drinking too much too. We found that alcohol has been for the husbands, which we tend to focus so much on the wife. But what's the husband doing? What's he eating and what's he drinking and what's he believing and what's he watching every day and who's he talking to and like those things as well.
Hygiene.
And I think that's a disservice we do, is we focus like the problem is the woman,
for sure,
and fix her, because Eve, she fell from grace, so the woman is contaminated. It's like, no, it takes two. So we need to look at, all these things I'm saying is not just for the woman, it's both partners. And even though the man's like, yeah, go fix yourself, and then when you're ready, come to bed and we'll have sex. No, it's so much more than that,
Yeah.
Both people need to be whole and feel like this is something they want. And have they had the conversation? Like, does the husband want to have a child? Not just the woman, but how does he feel about it?
Yeah, and just real quick to go back to the exercise point, two points. Walking is the best exercise you can do for an hour, 3 hours. You don't have to run and jog and get your bones and your head, don't have to rattle your body while you're exercising. Walking for 30 minutes to an hour is amazing. And also with that, the best exercise for you is the one that you're actually going to do. So whatever that looks like for you, right?
And men, for bike riding, we've seen a lot of issues with infertility, because what's happening to the testicles and the prostate
getting squashed,
and the way the bike seat is and all of that, it's not good for men. So I know that there's a lot of like professional bike riders that have had major fertility issues. So that's something too.
Prostate issues or testicle issues.
And how tight are your jeans and your pants, and is the heat okay? The testicles need to be in the right temperature, and there's a lot. So, but when we're just being and we're simple, it goes down to how we're thinking and feeling, and then the body chemically will react to that, and give us that end result. Yeah,
and there are people you're like, how did they have kids? They have this, and this. And one of my friends, one of the friends had
this is a great story.
My guy friend I've known since we were like 12. At like 13 or 14, one of his testicles did not descend, so they had to remove a testicle. Doctor said at that time it's going to be really hard for you to get, to have a kid. And he ended up getting with a gal and marrying her, and she had only one ovary because she had issues when she was a kid. So the two of them together, doctors were like,
it's not going to
not
happen.
happening. Sorry.
They have 2 kids.
2 kids.
And
healthy,
they never
happy.
had a fertility issue ever.
They made love. One time,
they
actually.
lived in Hawaii and
actually,
made love every day.
Both times I was visiting them. So maybe I was a good luck charm. I don't know.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, not with us. We don't have
we weren't
kids.
There. Yeah.
we don't have kids.
We're not trying to have kids.
He's good luck for other people. If you need him to fly to your house and just hang out while you're having sex. Then,
our goal is not to have, like, if it happens with you, whatever, but we're not like, oh, we need to have a kid. That's not been our goal for whatever reason. I can't explain it why.
It's an inner knowing, maybe. I don't know. It'll happen if it's supposed to happen.
Exactly. We trust.
And so your training, you said, was in April, right? So if anybody, even you have online ability too, right? So people can actually tap into the training. This is the big aromatherapy training where they can learn April over 2 weekends, right? So we'll make sure the link is included
and there's
down below.
Throughout the year, there's a few more as well. So
yeah,
we have one coming next weekend,
one
during the spring, one during the summer, one during the fall. So
fantastic.
And lots of workshops in between.
Yeah, little
there's
bite-sized
opportunities.
things, little hour, half-hour things.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Do this magical sun spiral.
So sit up nice and tall and just rub your hands together. Remember, the hands are like divine instruments made by the angels. And then this is another quote that I love from, we've been listening to this philosopher Alan Watts all week, so he's in our heads. But he said, angels fly because they take themselves lightly. Right. That's why they don't have legs, because they take themselves lightly, but they're flying around everywhere. So we want to connect to that angelic side. So bring your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your womb, below your belly button. And just relax here and just breathe. This is a great posture to be in when you're sitting against a tree as well. Or you're just wanting to connect your heart and your womb and get guidance and support. So just be here and breathe is the first step. And even if this is all you do every day, just for a few minutes, it's huge. How often do you connect with your soul? With who you are on the inside, not what we see on the outside. Breathing through the nose helps us activate the spiritual nerves inside of us, the Ida Pingala. So if you can, close your mouth and put a smile on your face. It's like you're projecting that positive energy, that light inside of you. Your smile is where the light shines through. And as you're breathing, feel that connection between your crown and the sun. Feeling that light that pours through you. And feel a connection, those 2 sit bones you're sitting on, to the earth, like you're plugging into the earth and you're being recharged. All your batteries are being recharged. And as you're breathing, you feel all this light flooding into you. Just go into your heart and think about something you're grateful for. Every day, remind yourself of what you're blessed with. Maybe you don't have the baby, but look at everything you do have. It's so much. We have so much. There's so much to be thankful for. And just feel like the sun is now coming right in front of your heart. And exhale all the breath. And just breathe that sunlight directly into your heart. Hold the breath and feel the true color of the sun, which is green. Green light circulating through your whole body, your mind, your heart, your womb. And then feel it pushing out the crown of your head as you exhale and shower it like a rainbow over your body. Just green light. Again, inhale sunlight into your heart. Hold the breath and smile. Just feeling that light. That lightness of mind, lightness of heart, feeling light. And exhale, release it through the crown of your head and shower it into the space. Your space is light. One more time, inhale sunlight into your heart. And hold the breath. And just feel at peace. That everything that's happening is exactly what's meant to be. There's nothing out of place. There's no wrong or right. It is the way it is because it's supposed to be that way. It's all learning opportunity. And exhale, release it through the crown of your head and let it go. And just continue these long, deep breaths. Just slowing the breath down. As we slow the breath down, we slow our thoughts down. We don't want to have all these millions of scattered thoughts, right? We want to feel centered in our hearts. And just feel that light in your heart, connecting to that beautiful sunshine above us, the light in the sun. We're going to go from sitting here, and I want to imagine that we're doing these spirals, slowly coming out of the body. You're safe. And we're spiraling up towards the sun. It's like this beam of light. We're being put up here into the sun. And then imagine yourself arriving inside the sun. Nothing but blinding light around you. And there's these luminous beings. They're the sun beings. There's beings in every planet. There's beings on every star. And we can't see them because we have to have the eyes of that planet or that star or the sun in order to see them. But we can feel them. Feel these luminous beings, these angel spirits, supporting you and helping you fill your mind with light. All your fears are dissolving. All your worries, things you stay up at night just pondering over because you're not at peace with them, just see them dissolving. It's all being held by these angels. They can hold the weight of your worries and your fears. You don't need to hold on to them. Feel your heart being hugged by these luminous beings. And all those inner feelings of doubt, concern, of not feeling harmonious, they're all being neutralized. You're allowing these luminous beings to carry any weight and to help lift your spirits. And then feel your physical body and any blocks you feel physically. Just see those luminous beings illuminating the path, returning and reviving the flow. So everything's circulating, everything's flowing in your mind, in your heart, and in your body divinely. And just sit here for a moment and just feel that love. Feel all the light and feel the peace. The light loves you. You are divine. You are exactly the way you should be. Just feel gratitude for that light. And give them some goodbye kisses. And then let's slowly start to spiral out of the sun. And start to come down, down, down towards the earth. Through the clouds, through the sky. That blue sky of peace surrounding you. You see your body sitting there, and you come back into your body and just take a few breaths sitting in your body after all that light was just poured into you. Just feel grateful, sending gratitude to the light. Just feel yourself in the middle of a forest. You can feel the leaves, the cold and damp on your legs and feet. You feel that hard floor underneath you, really grounding, supporting you. It's solid, it's powerful, it's got your back. Feel the tall, powerful trees that have been around here for thousands, maybe more than thousands of years. They hold everything that's been done and said on this earth. They have so much wisdom. They're enlightened beings. And they're just smiling at you, just like, what are you worrying about? You're a child of love. We're holding you in light. We're grounding you. We're supporting you. We've got your back. We're here for you. Feel the choir of angels around you, that guardian angel that's with you all the time. It's just asking for you to ask and invite them in, these angels. The angels need your permission. They love your free will. They care about your free will. When you don't invite them in, it's the imbalanced angels. There's dark angels as well that are always flooding you with fear, with worry. So we have to invite in the light. We have our guardian angels, we have beings of light, these luminous beings, and we have archangels. And the archangels are that direct connection to love, wisdom, and truth. And each one has a divine purpose. We're going to invoke Gabrielle, who works with the lunar side of us, our moon side, our emotions, our family, our fertility, our womb, our cycles, how we create, that creation energy, Gabrielle. So we're going to invoke Gabrielle. We're going to do it 3 times just to keep it nice and simple. It's a 3-part invocation. Gabri, Gabrielle. And each one takes a full breath. So we'll start with a deep inhale. Take a deep breath. Again, inhale. Last time. Take a deep breath. Hold the breath. Squeeze the rectum. Squeeze the sex organs. Squeeze the navel in and up. Press the tongue against the palate and just listen to that invocation. Good, and then exhale and soften everything, release it, let it go. And then we're going to inhale, release our arms and stretch your arms above your head. Inhale some more, look up like you're holding and hugging all the light beings that are supporting you and bust out laughing! Has to be that release, that burst. And laughter is the best medicine. We have to remember to laugh. We have to remember to have fun. We have to remember to play, that we're children. We're being little babies of the light. And we have to play and enjoy our life and be happy. And that's how we create beauty around us. Whether it's an art project, a child, a relationship, a career, whatever you're building in your life, bring joy and playfulness and love. And it will work if it's meant to be. If you chose this and it's for you, it will happen. So have that faith.
You guys are the best. So amazing. What a wonderful way to end the series. So I am just so grateful for the both of you. And you guys check them out at their training, join online. They're super amazing. You'll get to play with the oils because they'll have something sent out to you. They have the free gift, so you can click. It'll take you to their website, Sacred Sense Aromatherapy, where you can also buy any of the oils. They're giving you a discount. So we'll have the code there for you. So make sure that you guys check that out. You have to sign up and the code will be emailed to you. Okay. So sign up for the free gift. They'll email you the code and you can get the percentage. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time. You guys have really given us so much information and I love you guys so much.
I want to add one more thing. We do have
Yeah.
music. We have 6 albums, working on the 7th one now. But we're called The Conscious Groove, and we have an Archangel Invocation. I'm not sure what album that's on, but if you go to theconsciousgroove.com, all the albums are there to play for free. You can buy them also, but if you just click on the play button, you can listen to them all for free. And there's an Archangel song where we invoke just the 4 directions archangels, and it's kind of groovy, funky, so it's not like this like we just did. But if you just want to listen to it and have that vibration in you during the day, then check it out.
Yeah, The Conscious Groove.
Don't forget the 3 words, The Conscious Groove. Or
on Spotify, and our most recent album is not up on Spotify, but there's a good catalog there.
Yeah, so. It should be up in a few weeks. Yeah. We just put another album out, so yeah. Anyway, just wanted to say that we have music too. So
they're helpful. It's a lot of mantra, prayer. The intention is to help people feel better and smile and move their body and dance. So that's what we do.
And that's going to help with fertility. Dance. Dancing helps.
That's right.
Dance like no one's watching. Sorry to interrupt. That's all I had to add that.
Yeah, I know. You guys are so amazing. I love you guys. Have such a wonderful day.
Blessings to you all. Bye, everybody.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.